Hello, punters, and welcome to a mountainous weekend of racing. It is Everest week. It's Guineas week. I think it's Everest week. Blake Johnston, Adam Campton. It's Everest week. Sam Wood. Sam, good to see you, mate. What's this? 5-6 weeks of holidays in a row?
Yeah, mate. I'm like a school teacher, but I take all the holidays at once at the end of every term.
Where are you?
I'm in Gymea Bay in Cronulla,
expensive.
in Shire.
Very expensive.
So I'm at my in-laws' house, but I'm in Cronulla and it's lovely. I've just got the Southern Cross tattooed on my back. It's still a little bit sore, but I'm looking to, shape up with the locals and just, fit right in.
There's a lot of wood behind you, like Sam Wood.
That's why they let me marry their daughter.
Have you run into Todd Carney?
He lives here now.
Does
He
he?
lives in
He lives up
Byron.
here. I've seen him a few times. And I'll tell you what, he looks fit as a fiddle. I don't know if he's still playing footy or whatever he does.
Yeah, he is.
He
playing
walked
at
past
Byron.
me 2 weeks ago. I seen him up here at the shops, and he walked past. I was like, "Holy hell, he looks fit."
You used to like him.
Oh, he's a good footballer.
He was a good footballer.
He could party.
Could party.
He didn't have the best brain. Good at footy, but just didn't really think things through, did he, when he was out on the drink? And he was probably, I know this is Everest week, we're talking about Todd Carney, but he was probably the first one that would be the best example to show young footballers why you don't hang, like if people take photos of you or pull their phones out, just act accordingly.
I don't think he drinks anymore. Like I think he's turned his life around. He's pretty he looked in good nick, old Dotty boy.
Yeah, I think he goes out
Campo,
with
calm down.
someone from
He's no Preston Campbell, but
a
I
reality
saw Preston
TV
the other
star.
day.
you seen Preston?
I saw Preston and Jason having lunch together.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Where was that?
Helensvale.
Are we on a podcast?
Helensvale.
Should we talk about the race?
Catch up.
Mate, this is no joke. I saw Preston and Jason Campbell having lunch, and then I was with DJC, and DJC he had his crew of he looks after Indigenous kids for a big school down the Hunter. He had them all there, and while Preston and Jason were having dinner or lunch, there was just a crowd of Aboriginal kids just watching them eat, waiting for selfies and signatures.
Were they good with their time? Were they good with their time?
I got out of there, but I think, mate, there's 40 kids waiting, so they would have.
Where's Helensvale?
It's not far.
Was it? At
Bucks.
Yeah, not even there. I was at
DJC was
at
up
the-
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at the what is it? The Harbour Town.
I have never met Preston Campbell, but I reckon he'd be a legend.
Yeah, sweet. We can cut all this out, Nick, and we can now talk about the Everest.
Talk about the Everest. Oh, Campo, how are you? You've had a couple of weeks off out of here, but
Yeah, good.
busy
Chipping away.
training winners.
Went in Sydney and watched the Broncos get beat, so that was a great Sunday.
You've had a rough time of grand finals.
I have.
The last two you've been
the
in.
last three I've been to? Was the one before. I've been to some good grand finals. The last two I went to were both Broncos, where they got beat and looked home. But anyway, they live to fight another day, and we'll go again next year.
They were really home in that game.
They were the better
feel
team.
For you. They were home.
They were the better team.
Cleary
And then-
was that was
Cleary was
the
good,
greatest 20 minutes I've ever seen
It
from.
was just stupid. There's just stupid
Control
things
that.
they did. I'll tell you what, it was incredible to watch it at the ground. And when they made it 24-12 or whatever it was incredible to hear the crowd get behind Penrith. I was like,
Did they?
ooh,
Did they lift?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And just to watch Cleary do his magic from up above, he was just everywhere. And seeing Campbell Gillard go off, and he just took over from first receiver. I was like, yeah, this is
Because I was big Broncos, and then there was just a moment there that
Of course he did.
I switched. No, but I switched early. I was like,
Switch
if
up.
Cleary can pull this off, it'll be one of the greatest performances in a grand final history. So that's when I switched. I feel sorry for Ezra Mann. Imagine scoring 3 tries in the grand final and getting done.
I was actually saying the other day, after the game when it finished, he walked away. He was down on the ground crying, obviously, and then the team were all walking around. And he just walked to the back corner of the field by himself and would not go near another player. He was just devastated. Obviously, he scored 3 tries in a grand final.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Imagine telling your kids that in 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Grandkids.
But other than that, no.
You didn't win Clive Churchill, Dad?
Good to get to Sydney.
Did you win the game? Did you win Clive Churchill?
Nope.
No, I got into $1.01 with 20 minutes to play.
But my teammates let me down. Woo!
How have you been, Blake? You'd be looking forward to this weekend, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Everest week.
Yeah, Everest weekend.
I think this is racing grand finals, isn't it? This weekend.
The meeting at Randwick is a cracker. The Caulfield Guineas is just always a great race. It's just good racing this weekend. We've got like traditional racing in Melbourne, and we got the new young aged races in Sydney.
Yeah, bring it on. The Everest looks like it's dropped away a little bit because we've lost a few key.
Yeah, it's full of ring-ins now.
Full of ring-ins.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. It's still quality. I saw somebody saying on the page like, "Oh, shit, Everest." Like I can't agree with that. Like there's one horse missing from it.
Yeah, you
two, Deepore and Imperatrice.
Yeah.
What about who are you tipping?
Who am I tipping?
Or do you have to
No,
pay for it. They're gonna pay for it.
I'm tipping Imperatrice. I'm tipping in secret.
In secret.
We'll beat that out, and they can pay for it through the
pay for it, guys.
podcast
in
provider.
secret. She started favourite at the start. Yeah,
Nick,
against all those horses, and she went 1,000. She went super first up, and then she went to 1,100 meters. She's just ready to explode. Like you'd say, her wheelhouse is between 1,200 and 1,400 meters, so she hasn't even got there yet.
Yeah, the draw makes it sticky for her, but I think Zach Purden I think that's a pretty good leveler, isn't it?
It was a slow pace the other day as well, and he was in front of her. Like they had Private Eye. Like I know he travelled 3 deep without cover, but he was in front of her, and that wasn't too much of a disadvantage to be where he was. So they had very similar closing sectionals. I think she had the second best last 400 metres of the meeting. So she's gone well. She started favourite in that race, and then after the draw, she was out to 20-1.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense
no
at all.
Yeah.
Like, especially like third up, stable have a habit of peaking them third up on grand final day. So
is that what she is? 21.
Not anymore.
she was. She got it. She's into 12 now. But yeah, she got out to 20-1 after the draw. So
yeah,
I was sitting on a ticket at 13s when I watched that.
She'll start single figures. I think she'll start single figures.
I thought she was like last week. I was expecting her genuinely $6 or $7 if she drew a gate. So I'm hard in the Blue Army corner, her and Cylinder. But Campo, question without notice here for you. I want to try and I suppose we can use your training expertise to inform the punters. I don't know if that's
you got to pay for this. You got to pay for
this. That's right. But
subscribe.
This is expensive.
I'm sure a lot of punters have seen in the form guide in the past, earmuffs pre-race, tongue tie, but Cylinder, 3-year-old colt, goes into the race, blinkers first time. For the punters that see blinkers first time in the form guide a lot, they might think, oh yeah, blinkers are on, but they might not actually know what they do. So what would James Cummings be expecting from Cylinder with the blinkers on Saturday?
First time, obviously trying to spark the horse up at a couple of lengths. Could be a clutch at straw. I don't know what Cylinder did last start.
He was good. He ran second in the third, second
what
or
price
third,
is
second
Cylinder?
in the Golden Rose, $8.50.
Okay.
He's going good. I think
Possibly
James
he
wants
would
to
have
find
worked.
a length maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's looking for, and he's definitely probably worked him in it.
Yep.
Maybe worked him in it on Tuesday or jumped him out. They've got all those sort of things at their farm that they would have tried plenty of different things. So I'm tipping he must have jumped out or worked pretty good in him for him to try that on a big race. Like I'm hesitant to put him sometimes at the Gold Coast. Like he's gone into one of the biggest races in the world, going bang. But they are an incredible tool for a horse. Some horses
do different horses react differently to them?
Some horses don't like them. Some horses love them, and some horses can add lengths on them. We had a horse go around last week that wasn't doing much with us. We put the blinkers on, and he just got pipped. But they're whoever invented them, job well done.
Yep.
That other horse that Chris has got, Tannhauser, I think you've got a ticket on him or something the weekend.
Yeah, he just does not go a yard.
He improves him
them.
like 30 lengths when he puts the blinkers on.
He had that first trial back because he started like $4.50 in JJ Atkins. We're in third. And I was like, oh, this horse is in for a big prep here. First trial, the horse he just couldn't go a yard. I'm like, oh, he's either broken down or he's bled or something like that and springs over. trialled him a week later, blinkers back on, like a whole different horse.
It can be rocks or diamonds too, because you could put it on a colt, gets to the races. They're obviously normally very well educated, obviously, but could get to the races, blinkers first time, could over race, and it could be balls up. But, I'm not going to tell James Cummings what to do. He obviously knows what he's doing. He's got a great team behind. He's got a very smart man that helps him with his form and everything like that too. So I'm tipping that he's worked pretty good in him and he'd be ready to go.
Would you agree that they can be slow to begin with the blinkers
Definitely,
on?
yep. Yeah, I normally, if I'm going to put them on, I give them a little jump out in them and they get used to them. Sometimes they can have a real good gawk around and miss the kick, and then they see their mates and they get going again. But definitely it can. I've had plenty of horses, plenty of success with them, and then I've put them on other horses to try and spark them up a bit, and it just doesn't do that for them.
What about Peter Moody? He's got I Wish I Win, one of the favourites going into the race. We haven't seen him for 6 weeks, so I think he's a $5 or a $5.50 chance on Thursday morning. And while he's on the second line of betting, I feel like he's the forgotten horse in the race, just because we haven't seen him race. How much of a different training preparation does that have to be to go 6 weeks, 1,400 back to 1,200? I don't think he's jumped out. I think he's had course proper gallops, like exhibition gallops on race days, but it's very left field, isn't it? But
Moody said there wasn't a race for him in Melbourne.
yeah.
He's obviously tried to use that 14 residual fitness to bring back to 12. So Blind Freddie could see that, but Peter Moody's a freak.
Yeah.
So he's obviously got a plan. He's the reason why he does it. 6 weeks. It's not something I'd probably do, but I'm not going to tell Peter Moody what to do. But it's ballsy. And I know they went 1,400 in with Shinzo in the Golden Rose, and I thought he'd be $1 million to 1, but it can definitely work, and the good trainers know what they're doing. So maybe that 1,400's giving him that bit of fitness edge he might have needed the run. He would have had plenty of good grass gallops.
Yep.
In partnership with mate or by himself, but I'm pretty sure nose roll Pete will know what to do.
I think what did he say during the week? He said someone asked him if the Everest was around when Black Caviar was racing and what deal he would have had to have done, and he said, I would have bought my own slot for her. They're just it makes you wonder, why didn't Tiago do that with Imperatrice?
It's actually a good argument, because he was saying that they wouldn't have been able to fill the slots if she was around.
Why Imperatrice didn't come to the Everest? Is it
because she's happy in Melbourne and they didn't get a deal that they wanted.
Is she a 1,200 metre horse?
Also, yeah, she's a Group 1 winner of 1,200. But, I think they...
Was that in
they're
Australia
of the
or New
opinion...
Zealand?
No, she's won.
Oh,
she's won both, yeah. She can run... She can run 1,400 as well. She's pretty smart. I'm not smart, that's obvious. But, I think she's the best sprinter in Australasia. But... they are of the opinion that she's better going on her left leg.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Sam, what about you? Have you had a look at the Everest? I suppose the Everest now, we've spoken about this a bit in terms of the people's race, but you're not, you know horses, and
I'm not
you know
normal people.
You're not normal people. You are normal people, but in terms of you don't have to be a form guru to know the form like you do on a benchmark 64 at Kembla on a Thursday, for example. It's the people's race. We know all of these horses. Do you have a normal person's tip?
You don't have to be a form guru, obviously. As the mug says, I wouldn't know what a form guide is. But, I think, that's what the beauty of this race is that you've seen the lead-ups. I do think it would have been great to see a stronger race. We do have a few that are kind of late ring-ins and things like that. And I feel like there was a lot more. Slots were filled late in the process, but there was less drama about it. It was kind of like it's either going to be these three. The only kind of drama around it was, as Blake said, Imperatrice, which, geez, they would have been looking for a top-notch deal to be knocking everything back, because I think it would have given this race a bloody good shake. But I've had a couple of bets and currently sitting at overs, which is nice. The barrier draw I wasn't, so either double dip or whatever. So I'm the same with you. I've had bets on the Blue Army, so Cylinder and In Secret at okay prices, better price than they are now. But, Blake, for people like most punters that haven't had a pre-nom bet or anything like that. How do you think in these bigger races, how do markets react? So let's say for me, I want to have a bet on Overpass, and I want it to probably be my bet of the day. So the biggest bet I have in this race. It's currently at $14. Do you see that kind of closer to jump that it'll start to creep in? People see that it's got the form around Giga. Is that usually what it is? Like the punters on the day are seeing that it's got form around Giga, it's beat home. Amelia's Jewels, sorry. And do you think that'll kind of make the price come in a bit, or does something like this just get spit out and they just go for I wish I win? They just go for think about it. What do you think in these bigger races, specific like at Everest?
I think he'll start shorter, just because he won't get control of the race, but he'll lead. So the mappers will like him. But I don't think it's the people who are looking at their form guide that are having any impact on the market. It's the big syndicates that play. It's the tipping services leading into that. But the big syndicates form the markets in the last 10 minutes of betting. But I think he'll start shorter, and they like horses that race on speed. So I think he'll start shorter.
What about this Whirlpool tote? Because last weekend in the Turnbull, obviously we had Romantic Warrior go around, Hong Kong superstar. So I think he started at $1.40 on the totes. But Gold Trip, he was into $11 on the Friday afternoon, and that Whirlpool tote was 30 to 1.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that just because all the Hong Kong money's in there with Romantic Warrior going around?
I guess so.
And Everest, we don't have a Hong Kong runner, but we've got Zach Purden, we've got Hugh Bowman riding. Could we see that sort of gravitate towards the runners that they're on, and a horse like Overpass with Bjorn Baker, Josh King? It's sort of Josh King. Josh Parr.
Oh, she married. Oh, no.
She's remarried. Sorry,
Luke. Sorry, hello.
See you, Luke, you loser.
Cut him out.
But Overpass could be sort of one of those horses that's not very
he could.
topical.
Yeah,
how do I access that tote? Is it through BetMakers bookies, or how do I get in there?
Just best tote.
Just
best
on
tote.
the tote, yeah.
Oh, that's the best tote, is it?
Yeah.
Well, it will be. It wouldn't have been on Romantic Warrior, but it will be on most other horses. But yeah, I guess they just latch onto horses that they're familiar with. It's like us in the Melbourne Cup. I'd suggest the Australian horses start shorter than they should in.
I think I remember from whatever year Liga Rocher won the Cox Plate, and they had a Japanese bookmakers prices compared to what, say your Double wasn't around then, but say your Sportsbet or Tab or Ladbrokes, whatever market they had, and Liga Rocher was like $1.50 fixed price in Japan, and over here she was like $3 at the time, and we just saw that almighty crunch all day.
She was a massive go, late.
Yeah, it was huge,
massive go. Because I reckon she was like $4 or $5 in the morning.
She got smashed.
Yeah, I reckon a mate had a good go at like $4.20 in the morning of.
Yeah, I remember her being a massive go late. The big players definitely latched onto her. I got a question for you, Campo, about the Everest. A lot of people were saying, I read a few articles earlier in the week about how I Wish I Win drew poorly in Barrier 1. What do you reckon?
Nah.
Prefer 1
I'd
than
rather
12?
draw 1 than 12. Obviously, it can be, downfall for some horses, and good riders can navigate their way from any barrier. But yeah, I'd rather be drawing 1 than 12.
It's more of a problem in a slowly run race, right?
Yeah, correct.
Because there's not as many gaps in the field. These guys are. I know that we're saying, there's no speed in the race. There's no speed in the race.
I don't understand why people say that. I really don't.
Yeah.
So if you were going to a barrier draw, and you're going to barrier, I want 14.
Oh yeah, I would.
It's just stupid.
I would much prefer. He
drew 1 in the Memsey, did he not?
He did,
and he popped out 3 wide off the fence, looked like the winner, and he just blew out late. There's going to be more speed in this. He's back to 1200 where he's been set for. He's going to be fit. If he's 3 back the fence, he's the horse that you want to be on in run.
I can just about guarantee that Luke Nolan will not be
further back,
caught in behind runners.
Yeah,
because there's just going to be they're not going to finish in a bunch in this race. There's going to be 12 lengths between first and last.
Your leaders are good class horses. They're going to kick on the turn.
Yeah,
they're not going to be bunched. What you were saying, they're going to be like this the whole way around.
That's right. Like even we look at like the market, I think Marzu might be maybe 70-1 now, but he ran. What did he
Is
run?
that the rough? Is Marzu the roughie?
Yeah, like he ran third in this race last year. Yeah, he was a little bit plain first up, but he had a fair bit go against him. Like he's a quality sprinter. It's not like he's a 200-1 shot. That it's not. It's not like
I think a lot of people forget Peter and Paul Snowden get their horses ready.
Yes,
on the game day.
I think he's 70-1 because he was a late scratching the other day.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to have another run, and he went to the races, and something happened. I don't know what happened.
Marzu.
In his box in the morning.
He got cast. He got cast.
Yeah.
He got cast in his box, so he's been back to the trials. But
tried well.
And a lot like the market was expecting him to bounce back last start.
Yeah.
So he won't start 70-1.
No way.
No way. He
Tommy
won't start 70-1.
Tommy ride him.
Yep. Drawn awkward, but yes. No, it'll be interesting. But I actually think I think that it won't be smooth sailing for Overpass in front. Like, you know, in the terms of let fast horses be fast, I think, yes, obviously he'll lead. But I think the Yulong mare, I think Alcohol Free is going to go forward and in true Gay Waterhouse fashion is going to serve it up to Overpass.
Oh, I'd be surprised if he gets any piece in front, regardless of how much speed there is.
You know, they paid up for her for the Cox Plate as well.
No, I didn't know that.
On Monday, they paid up for her in the Cox Plate. So she's one of like 26 horses still.
Plate. So she's 1,200 metres here. Where do they go to next? The Invitation.
No, because that's like it's literally
next week. Oh,
it
no,
would be.
it's 2 weeks
It's
away.
2 weeks from Everest to Cox Plate.
2 weeks.
She's obviously done it before. She'd have some.
You wouldn't knock. You wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't say no to Gay.
No.
Gay's the stable. Like they can go 1,200 metres to 2,000 metres.
Unless they run I don't know if there's a race next weekend.
That'd be a bad plan because this is going to be a super fast race, and then she's going to have to.
It would be interesting. I think who was the horse that did it in Queensland, like a Doomben 10,000, maybe into a Doomben Cup or something like that. Name escapes me, but
No idea.
years ago.
I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Geez, she might if she can lead an Everest, she'd lead a Cox Plate nice and easy, wouldn't she?
She'd lead a Cox Plate.
Especially 2 weeks later.
Yeah, that would be wild to see.
Oh, that'd be great.
You'd love to see it because she's a $10 million horse. Like, you want to see these big price horses racing in our best races. So
Sure.
All right, Campo, if you could saddle one up on Saturday in the Everest, would you like to saddle up?
Think about it.
Think about it.
winning machine.
He's a winning machine.
It's hard to knock him, isn't it?
Oh, he just keeps raising the bar. How good is he, you reckon? Like,
Winners win.
good?
Days.
What, like, let's say he wins the...
I just love when I seen him here. He was an absolute ball of mess. Just a big dickhead in the parade ring, carrying on, and still went and did what he did. And I thought wow.
We don't know what he is really yet.
No,
like,
correct.
if he wins the Everest, let's
What is
say he wins the Everest.
9 straight? Looking for 9 straight?
9 straight. He's won 10 of 11.
He's got beat.
Yeah.
He's-
His trainer's a freak. Trainer's a superstar. Private Eye, I love that old horse too. He's a good horse, but they're all good horses. But yeah, if I choose one, think about it.
So so he wins the Everest in the spring. He stays to like sprinting trips in the spring. Like what would Joe Pride be thinking for him in the autumn? Are they going to stretch him?
I don't know. See, by so you think he probably could definitely stretch him.
I have on good authority that they'll stretch him in the autumn.
What sort of race are they going to stretch him to? They're going to try to
All-Star
run him in
Mile
at
and Queen
Elizabeth. Yeah. Interesting. Like, if he wins an Everest, what about a Doncaster?
Yeah.
Like it,
Yeah, well, you could
because
do-
he's
you
not going
could
to get
go
weighted out of a
All-Star Mile,
Doncaster.
Doncaster.
Yeah, like I feel like the best horses in the country. It's always good to see the best horses in the country in those handicaps.
Push
like we used
themselves,
to
yeah.
see those
Yeah.
horses like More
Yeah.
Joyous and that. She won a couple of two
You don't
racks.
see that
and
many.
Sunline and like they win Doncasters. They take on horses. They give them weight and they
We
stick
had
them
this
a beat.
argument in the Epsom 2 weeks ago is that the Epsom's not the race it used to be. It used to be where your Hartnells were winning with 58 kilos, your Winkses. But this King Charles on Saturday, it's got a lot of those horses that you would have loved to have seen go toe-to-toe at handicap conditions, and now they're here at Weight for Age for $5 million. But,
5 million.
you know, like imagine the Epsom if you had Mr. Brightside, Fangirl, think it over. Like there's some quality horses in that race.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracking race. But I definitely.
What price is Hawaii 5-0? Sorry, back to
$13.
What did he draw?
10.
Average, yeah. 10.
He had
a good run the other day. He ran the favourite to what?
Sort
half
of
head and
just peaked again.
Yeah.
Sort of comes in. Yeah, I like that horse.
Whose slot?
Did any of you boys see what was that, Sam?
Whose slot is Hawaii 5-0 in? Because I feel like that was a late pickup as well. That probably
Aquas. He replaced
thought it
Sunshine
would have
in
been.
Paris.
I reckon
okay.
Hawaii 5-0 10 was a real detrimental draw for him. If he could have got a suck run just in behind the speed, that would have been ideal.
He went
for
forward
him.
in the Stradbroke, didn't he? Rachel rode him. I think he had 50 kilos or 49. But from memory, I can't remember if he drew 3 or 15.
I don't remember.
He did roll forward.
I know he went forward, but I was thinking the same thing from 10. Does he roll forward and put himself there? But
I think they will. I think
Gay
they will.
fitness kicks in.
But does Gay send 2 horses forward,
I think they will. Grand final, well,
yeah.
That's
Is this grand
that's what
final for him when you've got Golden Eagle in 3 weeks?
Well, it's ideal for him to have a tough run here anyway. So, because he's going to go 12 to 1,500 metres and he's got 3 weeks in between runs, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless he gets on to a crazy tempo and gets beat 20 lengths.
20, yeah.
But I don't think that's going to be happening.
No. It is. It's only for its seventh year. It really has started to really capture, certainly Australia. But one thing that didn't really capture Australia in terms of the Everest was Tuesday night, the barrier draw. Did any of you see the barrier draw for the Everest this year?
Sam went, actually. I
That's
think.
why you're in Sydney. You're on the
Yeah,
Jackson
they got
on
me
Sydney
down there
Harbour.
because I fly the drones. They do the numbers on the drone. Do they do that this year?
No, they should have.
There were a lot of positive things
I brought my
about
drone. I brought my
What
drone.
was walk us
What
through it.
happened?
So I didn't see
Twitter's
it.
a very positive place.
Yeah, it's a happy hunting
yes,
ground.
correct. Yes.
So in the previous 6 years, we've seen the sails of the Sydney Opera House lit up with
That was
colours
cool.
and numbers. The Harbour Bridge has been done. They've done it from the top of Sydney Tower. I think they've done it at the icebergs at Bondi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did
Yep,
it
and
well
then-
there.
The drone
Did they
show.
did they put the number in the pool or something like
No,
that?
I think it was. I don't know how they did it. If it was just
Ravisi's
yeah, I think it was
Just one
something,
person
but-
swam and it had the barrier number on
Minicello.
it.
The jockey
Barrier
had,
one.
the jockey had to dive in the pool and then it revealed the number.
Oh wow.
That would be cool.
It was stunning.
Yeah.
No, I remember that.
They did the drone show last year, and this year they stayed on the boat, but just off the boat they did a water and light show that
Nice.
just went for maybe 5 minutes too long, and it only went for about 4 minutes. And
5 minutes per horse.
no, so they did a light show first while Sweet Caroline played, and the fountain and the lights danced around and did its thing to the music.
I would have found it more enjoyable for Wood Adam to give us a house tour and draw the numbers.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to say. That's
Guide
where I
me
want
and
to.
play.
I want to
Sorry,
put
guys,
it on you.
the dog's getting up on the lounge and it's not my house. Ernie's here. I don't know if I told
Ernie.
you that.
Ernie needs to be back here, but.
Yeah, this is the
So, yeah, as we were saying, so we've done the Opera House, we've done the Harbour Bridge, we've done Sydney Tower, we've done Bondi, we've done a few in the harbour. I've got 2 ideas for Peter Volandis to, I'm sure he listens, for the 2024 and 2025. I think this is the way to go. So, Sydney landmarks that have not been mentioned. Taronga Zoo. Let's put big balls, like exercise balls with barriers in them, in the lion's cage. Send the owners in. Find these balls, like you got lions sort of.
Yeah,
running
right.
around.
This is, yep.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, this is good.
Or you could put the feet up in like the old how the octopus at the World Cup.
I reckon they should take it out
Oh, yeah.
west.
Henry.
West is best.
Oh,
Yeah.
Parramatta River, as if they're not going to just throw something down there. Look at other Sydney landmarks.
And that's a
Parramatta
body.
River, absolutely. Yeah. Now look at that. What else?
Well, that was the other one, and that one you definitely involve Parramatta. I reckon in the other one is amazing race style. So you've got the 12 connections of the horses with clues, and you've got it's like a scavenger hunt around Sydney for 12 hours to find it. And, you could find barrier 12 in the first hour. It's up to you if you want to keep it or put it back and run the risk of finding it. But, you got Jamie Walters from Proven Thoroughbreds. He already wears the safari hat. James Cummings, he's got his binoculars, that photo you love. Like,
We're not paying Nick enough. That's phenomenal, Nick, that you've come up with that. What an idea. That's just
He
unbelievable.
definitely should be doing your marketing.
Amazing race style. So are you saying connections or it's jockey-trainer combo?
I think you can put a team together. You can have jockey, you can have trainer, you can have all your owners. Like,
I love it.
The big syndicates at the end of the day are probably the ones that benefit, because there could be 32 owners looking for barrier 4, and you've got. I would suggest you've got Peter Volandis.
He's like the guy at the end with the ticket.
Yeah, I would say PVL is the one with standing around Sydney with clues, and he's the man you've got to find. So, it could end up you've got to go to the top of Sydney Harbour Bridge, like a bridge climb, and find barrier 4. Like,
wow,
let's highlight Sydney more, because it's a great city.
There's a lot to do in Sydney.
A lot to do.
Well, yeah, there's
big.
a lot more. Absolutely, there's a lot more. Yeah,
You could have
amazing
like
race style.
you could on the Amazing Race style sort of theme. You could have like, where's Peter V? Like, and dress like heaps of people up in Peter V, and they have to go around and find him in Sydney.
Yes.
When they find him, they reveal the draw, like under a jacket.
Campo,
Yeah, so
are we
he's got a jacket and
recording?
a button-up shirt.
Yeah.
I've
Goes like
got
that.
no idea what's going on here, but I didn't know if we were still talking about the podcast or the Amazing Race.
So you have 12, and it's written on his chest
like Superman.
and he goes bang when you
Wow.
found him. That's your draw.
Wow.
I would say maybe like you've got to get the boys at Bondi Rescue to take you out on a jet ski to a buoy that might have a barrier on it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be
They're
good
all
for
great
HR.
ideas, guys. We'll table them. We can look at them next year if you want.
Well, it's going well with the sequence because the draws seemingly are going from better to worse.
Yeah, like I feel
every
like
year
they've run out of ideas. They're just like drone show, light show. Like we're on a boat again. Like you're 6 years in, 7 years now. You've run out of ideas. It's time to.
No, they've got to
time
do the
roll
boat
around with the
3 years
lines.
in a row. It was like the Marzu slot. They had to book the boat year after year.
Yeah.
So they've got to do another. They'll do canoes or something like that.
Well,
Speaking of boats, do you know who I seen in Sydney on a boat when I went for
we
lunch
go.
on the Monday before I flew home? Scotty Pippen.
Oh, he was on
I
a
saw
boat for
Channel 9 had him on the.
Yeah, he was on
coverage.
I was like, that's Scotty Pippen.
yeah, Pip Dog. He's out here for the
Tom
NBL.
Waterhouse was there too. He was very well dressed as per normal.
I was going to
Did he
say, I
have
think he
12
was. I think
supermodels
Scotty was
taking
there.
off him?
There's a few. So yeah, that was about it.
He used to be in that building in North Sydney.
He did. Remember? Yeah, Tom's done all right for himself.
He's going well, isn't he?
What else are we talking about today, Nick?
Well, we've got the Guineas in Melbourne. Militarise.
Oh, the next Enemo.
Correct.
Militarised
said
brains them.
Brains
Surely.
them?
Has to. Nothing stacks up to him in this race. As you said, everyone marked it down. When Nick Lloyd talks, the people listen. Militarise is better than Animo. Is that what you said?
Oh,
Something
you've
similar.
put a bit of mayo on that, I reckon.
No, that was the general gist of it. But yeah, there's no way.
I said at this point in time, he has a better CV and potentially could, if he can win the Guineas and win the Cox Plate,
What's the name of that horse, Johnny Owen, the one that keeps winning?
Stapati.
It's the party.
yes.
There's
Yeah.
a party.
This whole race is a great old race.
Oh, it's a cracker.
You
Remember
know,
when God's
actually,
Own won the Guineas?
I do.
was it you, Nick, on the Locked In podcast that tipped Centify?
No. DJC might have. Or,
Oh, okay. I'll take it all back then.
or Pat, maybe. One of them.
Yeah, it's not a bad run in this race. Well, I reckon it'll be there or thereabouts at 20-1. But yeah, like nothing's going to. Yeah, I think the 280 for Militarise or whatever it is currently while we're recording this. Is
What price is Amelia's in the Turak?
220?
220.
230?
Yeah, take the
220?
double. She's very good.
220.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
drew poorly, but it doesn't matter. She's fine. She'll win.
Actually, there's a question for you, speaking of the Turak. Antino. Is that, you had it for its first start?
I did.
Are you happy to talk about, like, how come that ended up with Tony and not...
The owners decided to give it to Tony.
Okay. Yeah. I only realised that,
silly
like,
bastards.
Lovely
two
horse.
starts ago or something, and I thought,
Yeah, he's a really nice horse. Purchased him for the owner from the New Zealand Breeze Up Swallows in Hong Kong. And yeah, went to beautiful horse, lovely horse. I actually wish him all the best. But he'll want to be good to beat Amelia Stewart.
Did you sort of have him for long enough to sort of think this horse goes real good, or like?
Yeah, he's a blinkers horse.
Yep.
Didn't show much before the blinkers. Tried him in blinkers. Brett Preble came and rode him. Friends of the owner. He bolted in his trial, then had a jump out. Went good. Jimmy Orman then came and rode him. Jimmy said, I think he's a pretty good horse, and worked enormous. Obviously, I only had a few horses in work at that time. He was one of them. But yeah, very good horse, and Tony's done a great job with him.
He stays at the mile on Saturday in the Turak by Redwood though. Like, did you sort of have him penned as a? They were talking, he was going to be a Stradbroke favourite if he had been there.
I always thought he was a 2,000 metre horse. Yep, definitely.
Yep. I thought it looked like last time he was wanting it.
Clean-winded, beautiful type, very athletic. His recovery is one of his big pluses. He's a proper animal. He's a good horse. Blake Shin suits him. Was his win that good last up? Probably not, but that's the sort of horse he is. But yeah, she's pretty phenomenal. Like, she's a pretty serious animal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I wasn't on the bandwagon while she was in WA, but I am firmly on the bandwagon.
You're well and truly on the bandwagon, aren't you?
I am.
I'm sort of still
I think
at
she'll
the.
just win whatever they put her
Whatever
in.
they put her in, she'll win.
That question. So where would you, if you were in charge of her, what would you be doing with her? Cox Plate or Golden Eagle?
Cox Plate.
Cox Plate.
Yeah. Give her a go at Cox Plate. She deserves it.
Even though the Eagle's worth what, 12 million? 10 million.
I think
Lots.
it's still 10.
It's worth lots.
I'm not a money hungry person. I'm pretty old school.
It was actually interesting. Simon Miller was on SEN during the week, and sort of they asked him a similar question, like head over hard and whatnot, and where do you want to go? And he was quick to say the Cox Plate. He said, I might not ever have a horse to go to a Cox Plate again. And Gareth Hall, I think, was doing the interview, sort of said, well, but she's a 4-year-old. Like, she's only going to be 4 once trying in the Golden Eagle. And he said, well, the Cox Plate, you've got to have the best of the best to even get in the field. I might not have a horse of that quality.
God forbid it doesn't, but she could get injured and then never race again.
Well, that's right.
I went to a Golden Eagle. I think I'd rather go to a Cox Plate.
Yeah, well, I think he was even saying, like, with any horse that he's got, like if you've got a 4-year-old that's won enough prize money, you can run in the Golden Eagle.
He's a good
doesn't
trainer.
have to be. Yeah,
He's a very underrated trainer. He's a larrikin too. I love that. Sculling his schooner as she went past.
Yeah, like I've been against the. I remember getting a tip for her for like her first start over in WA, and I think we had something on at like Gallopers on Saturday kind of thing, and she went around late that night, and all on her, and like, this horse was next superstar. Back her in the Caracutta when she bolted in and whatnot, and then I've just sort of dropped off her. I think because I was on Cascading in the Northerly last year, and she beat him, and I've just been like, stuff you kind of thing. But while I have been against her and saying she's yet to beat the best horses, I do hope for the connections, because you're right. Simon Miller seems like champion, and you'd love to see those sort of people.
You like seeing those sort of people win
the
races.
big races. So.
She sort of looks like she's got an incredible probably trait to beast something down. Like, she sees them and goes, okay, I've got to get. And then she sort of gets to the front and like, my job's sort of done. Like, probably in that race tomorrow, I could be completely wrong. Saturday, sorry, could be completely wrong. But he's probably going to have to ride a spot on, like, to get there late. Like, if Antino did kick, he's a good honest horse. At least it'll probably give her that thing to keep chasing.
She broke the track record the other day, hey?
Yeah.
So it seemed like she did it in a hand canter.
Yeah.
Like, she did it easy.
He sat up on her right late.
Like that was just outstanding. I have no doubt that she'll.
What'd she buy?
No idea.
I got it here.
I want to say like Siuni, but I could be completely wrong.
And Bumbacina.
I have no idea.
Yeah, wow.
But
That was a good guess on my end.
I am a little bit money hungry, so I would definitely run her in the Golden Eagle. I'll run her in the Golden Eagle because she's only 4 once, and she'd be an absolute certainty in the Golden Eagle.
You could run her in the Golden Eagle, and you could run a week later. You could back her up and run her in like the Champions Stakes at Flemington on the last day of the carnival, because like then the Champions Stakes still worth, is it maybe 2 million to the winner or something along those lines. So
I'd probably you'd want to have her back as a 5-year-old, but I'd probably run her in the Eagle, but like up to them.
420 in the
I
Eagle.
guess they can run her in the Cox Plate and then
double?
run her in the Champion Stakes. Maybe that's their plan, but I'm not sure. I think she.
Race 10.
That being
race.
said,
That's what I liked. I thought was a good each way chance. Could be wrong. I just loved it so much. The Inevitable.
Oh yeah, it was really
Good run,
really
I'd
good.
say.
Yeah, I think it had like the best last 8 and 6 and 4 of the meeting, and it was never clear. So it was a good run. I've actually on at the place. I've backed at the place, the inevitable. I don't know if he can beat the
I'm on pinstriped.
Oh yeah,
At a
Benny
big
Allen.
price. Yeah.
The DJ.
The DJ.
How cool was that?
Yeah. How good is, honestly, like Racing Victoria,
They do a good job.
they've been behind the 8 ball for a long time, Racing
Yeah.
Victoria, but I don't know, like, is it just Ben Allen? Like, has he just got some sort of aura around him? Like, he's that larrikin, he's got the bleach blonde hair, he's the DJ, he owns his cattle, and he's a bit of a farmer, but they had him doing, like, almost Brendan Favola, Brownlow sort of style at the RV Awards nights.
Yeah, I quite like that.
And now he's DJing, like,
Yeah, he's a larrikin,
he's
it's good.
suspended, like, people love him, like, more of it.
Would you have danced, like got your boogie on if
Yeah,
you were
definitely. 100%,
after last?
100%.
Castle Hill Tavern.
Dave Stanley on Racing HQ said that Simon Miller had been in contact with Racing New South Wales to organise a charity for the Golden Eagle.
Really?
Whether that means anything or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I suppose every horse in the race runs for a
Dave
charity,
knows.
so they might just have to.
Sorry?
Dave knows he gets a good inside word.
Yeah, so I don't know whether maybe they just if that was still a potential of them coming, they had to put in a charity like by a given date or whatever. But
Yeah.
I guess the fact that they have passed that on, it means that she's probably still a chance of
going,
running in either one. So
I wonder if that is a push, or if you're right, it is just you've got to have them in by Monday. How's Deepork, Campo?
He's good. He's back. He's been back.
I saw he's back.
Week and a bit. 2 weeks. Week and a half. He's good. He's very good. He's relaxed.
just let us know when he's in first up so we can launch.
He'll be staying in Queensland this preparation. Maybe Sunshine Coast first up. Listed Group 3. It's a good little preparation ahead for him. Get his
At the
rating points
meeting
up.
in like mid-November.
Yep. Then December. Let's see how he goes for them. Hopefully he can get those ratings up a bit and then attack the carnival next year. But he's good. He's very good.
He's not eligible for like a King of the Mountain, is he?
No, he won't go there. No, he won't go there. I'd love to get him just Stradbroke, but he's got to prove that he runs for over beyond 12. I think he will. He copped his training a bit harder last prep, and he's come back great. They did an incredible job with him at the farm. Some nice young horses coming through. It's good to have good stock coming through. It makes the mornings getting up a lot easier.
Yeah, you've had plenty of winners lately. Have you got one in this weekend that steer the punters into?
I did. I got some fucking awful barriers.
So we might be.
I think Lord Marker, wherever he goes next, I thought his run 2 weeks ago was awesome. It was 150 to 1. I couldn't believe it, and he probably should have nearly won in top 3 even. But he's coming cherry ripe. He's obviously one of my favourite horses. He's my first winner. I love him to death. So we took a photo of him this morning for his owners, and he's just starting to come right again. He's an older horse, but if I get a wet track wherever he goes, he's going to be big odds. He'll be running a big race. Probably get scratched this weekend, but I'd say Saddles on Sunday at the Sunny Coast. He's the best. 16 back at the Sunny Coast. Jimmy Orman. Barry's on out yet, but hopefully he draws right. I think he'll run a big race.
We might be head to head on Saturday in the Class 3 at Eagle Farm. Who have you got? Platinum
Pacific Vampire.
Pacific Vampire.
Pretty smart horse.
Oh, that's a flash name.
Yeah, he's had a
That was Shadow Vampire
Yeah, correct,
in Sydney.
yep.
You
Yep.
know Mark
I know
Noonan.
that horse, yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty smart. He trialled up behind a good one the other day. He was pretty fat still, so first up 1,000. He'll be flashing
He's
home
got
late.
a big finish on him, doesn't he?
He does. He's got a very sharp sprint, and he worked up with a pretty handy one of ours the other morning. That I think he's like I've got a lot of time for this horse. He's probably one of sort of could be a carnival horse, but he's just drawn awfully. So
He had some really good maiden form in
Correct.
New South Wales and just couldn't break the duck. And then
Yeah, I
I reckon
remember him.
won his maiden on like Melbourne Cup Day, I reckon, at like Kembla or something like that. And then he put a couple in a row.
I reckon it might have even been Goulburn or somewhere.
yeah,
I
he
might be wrong.
new owner who goes him and El Padrino. Remember his favourite for that? He won the nursery or something. And Atlantis Tycoon now that's. He trialled the other day, so 3 really nice horses that we got given from that owner. But yeah, Shadow Vampire.
Who did he try? Was it Shooting for Gold?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was good. Robbie Dolan trialled him.
Why
Jake
the name change with Shadow
it's just
Vampire?
the owner. He he has all these horses in Singapore and they're Pacific this,
Pacific,
that.
Pacific.
So yeah, I like that horse. I think he's a really nice horse going forward.
Okay, so let's hope Sir Carter draws a barrier at the Sunshine Coast on Sunday.
Your horse was a really good run in that $100,000 race at Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, he just can't draw a gate, the poor little bug. Like and the plate conditions of this race on Saturday just don't suit him because he's in with 56.5 or something. He's a Class 1 horse in a Class 3. So I think we were hoping that it was going to be one of those Class 3 handicaps where we could use marks like True Weight and get him with 52 because he's only a tiny horse, and in those Class 1s, he's had to be lugging 59 kilos every start.
It's tough.
Yeah, like he's flying. He's going really good, but can't draw a gate. And you're right, that run in that $100,000 race.
He had a tough run, and he still had the tenacity to shoot to the front at the top of the straight. Because I was on that other horse that was really well supported.
Tribeca Star.
Oh, yeah.
He just got nailed late. But, when you shot away, I was like, oh, this horse has had a tough run. And
we actually dead heated for 5th, and the horse that we dead heated with backed up on the Friday night and won. So
yeah, right.
That'll be a strong form race.
You'd have to.
Who rides on Sunday?
I would say Mark would be booked if he's going there. But yep, exciting times. Sam, anything to leave us with, mate? When you're driving back to the Gold Coast on Friday, get out of there before the Everest.
Where do you stop? Do you stop along the way for a dog's eye or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll stop at Heatherbrae and have a pie for brekkie and then maybe make a lunch. But, mate, it's 2 kids under 4 years old in the car for 12 hours. Or it's a 9-hour drive, but it ends up being about a 12-hour commute. It's fucking hell. I can't really put it any other way.
I couldn't think of much worse.
Sonny would be good in the car for 12 hours.
I've been tipped into headphones for the kids. So I bought them like headphones. So hopefully they just watch a bit of iPad. But they're not really interested in telly, which is, I don't know, we've done something wrong. But I'll tell you what I do. I tell you what I like about the weekend. Caulfield, the last race is a Group 1. I feel like they don't do that enough. What do you mean?
That's crap. That's not
the last race.
I don't like it.
Because you don't like it?
It's not good for racing because everybody wants to have a bet. It's not good for punters because everybody wants to have a bet. And
I was thinking this the other day. What happens if they got a downpour of rain?
It's great.
Your Group 1 horses are running on the worst part of the track.
I think because it's not good for turnover because everybody wants to have a bet in the Group 1. So
I'm not a turnover.
Most people
they want to bet on Toowoomba.
Are going to back a loser in the Group 1. So the turnover, you're losing that turnover for the next race.
Put it on the Sky too.
Gamble responsibly, but a lot of punters won't have enough money to play in the Group 1.
I've always
if they buy the VIP leg up package, they might.
Sometimes.
I've always thought about this because Royal Ascot, they do.
Sorry, Nick, you go, mate.
Sorry, Sam. Yeah, Royal Ascot. The Group 1 races are like the first 2 races on the card usually over there.
Yeah, it's like second and third race.
Yeah, it's like the Queen Anne's the first race. Like, let's make the Everest race 1, 12 o'clock. Like, get in, get out.
I wouldn't mind that either because you've got to think about the pub experience, which my whole life I feel like I would it's like a virtual pub. But if you're sitting there 5 o'clock, 5:30, had a few schooners, you've got a schnitzel under your belt, you're going really, really hot. You think they go, fuck, the last Group 1 hasn't even run yet. How good's that? Yeah. Let's just everyone chuck in 50 and I'll bet it for us. And then it's like, bang, the night started. Now we're not at the pub, we're at the club. Now we're not at the club, we're at the Jack the Rippers. It's a great night. You could really have a big.
I truly believe that it should be the second or third race. Like the feature should probably be like the third race because first of all, you want people at the races early, so they get there at the races early. They don't leave. They're there having a good time. They're singing Sweet Caroline after the race and stuff like that. They don't care about those last few races, but. Like you want people at the pub.
They're not leaving for the last few races either, Blake. They're not sitting there going, "Oh, Sweet Caroline's over. I'll go home after the 6."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they're sticking around. Like if I go to the pub, if a lot of people go to the pub and they've got to be like they got stuff to do with their family in the evening.
If they've done the kids' parties all afternoon, if you're doing kids' parties from 12 to 4. It's great to
don't have any friends that would have a kids' party on a Saturday, so
they're not your real friends. Period. Parties on Saturday. I tell you what can get in. I tell you what we can bush.
Got to work, honey. Sorry.
My missus' cousin had a wedding on Winx's second last race, and I still remember she was dead set. Just walked down the aisle. Taylor was looking at me like, "Don't you fucking dare!"
Put your phone down.
I just did the old moonwalk to the back.
You got to at least have the AirPod in and just and listen to Sky. But yeah, why are kids' birthday parties on Saturdays? I don't understand that. Why aren't they on Sundays?
Yeah. 11 a.m.
Saturdays
Sunday.
are for the boys.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well. Knock it if you're gonna. I don't care what day, but we went to a kids' party.
Tell
on
him from
a
this
Saturday.
bloke. If his missus will go, let's go out on a Saturday. Okay, let's. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always here on a
He
Saturday.
would
I
have
never
absolutely
miss.
no call. He would have absolutely no call on it. But I went to a kids' party the other day, 9 till 10.
That's a party.
Perfect,
Great party.
fantastic.
Yeah, three friends.
See you later. Party bag on the way out. I'm back home 10:30.
Really?
Kids are sprinters at that age.
Yeah, they
They don't last.
Weak bastards.
They don't last. They're
They don't care.
sprinters. So
Your son was not. He came over my house. When was that? 3 weeks ago. Little quiet boy sitting in the corner, neck minute. Dead set hurricane for about 3 hours straight.
that's to lock him in the cupboard.
Hurricane Sunny.
Oh, wow. It's like a junior Blake at that age. For everyone that doesn't know, Blake's very quiet these days. He used to be a lunatic.
We locked him
Back
in
in
the
his
cupboard.
dressage days, he was a
Back in
mental.
Tiffany days.
Do you think, Blake, do you think Sonny will follow in the family footsteps and get into dressage or anything like that?
Nah.
From jodhpurs to footy shorts.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't see that little fella in jodhpurs.
No.
No.
Watch this space, maybe.
For a horse.
I don't think so.
When
I
does
won't
he
be
does he
pushing
come
him
into on a Saturday, the leg up, and watch the races, or
Comes in, usually watches the last race.
He walks in through that door and he walks straight out into the garage and gets
And grab
a
all the
basketball
balls.
or a football
All the
or
footy,
a golf
yeah.
ball.
Just wants to
Yeah.
throw the balls around, yeah.
through the wall?
I
All
tell
right,
you,
boys.
just quickly on
Sorry.
sorry.
Shut up, Sam.
I was just very quickly going to push daylight savings because I go to Sydney on Friday for the Everest, and so we were talking about the Toorak being race 10. That's not even the last metro race on the eastern seaboard because Sydney has
Sydney's
the
6
Yank
o'clock,
State.
6:10 or something.
6 local time.
Yeah, that's too late. That's way too late.
That's like
Oh, hold on. What happened to Saturdays for the boys? Oh, but dinner time for the wife.
happened to
Watching a
Wild
race
Bush?
at 6 o'clock.
That's why I want. That's the races shouldn't go that late. It should be between 11 a.m. until 5.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
10
it's 10
past
past 5
5
for
that's
you
fine.
here. But
Oh, well, it's going to be great up here soon. Sunday night twilight racing.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Sunday night twilight.
and Magic
Yeah,
Millions.
get home at
Magic
10
Millions
o'clock
at
on a
Eagle
Sunday
Farm.
night because you don't have
get up
Friday, Saturday, Sunday racing already. Great idea. Brilliant.
Yeah, and then you're going to get up at 3 a.m. Good for the trainers.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'll tell you what I'm bushing today. Your coffee store over the road charged me $7.90 for a cookie.
Which one? The
Okay.
one next to it or the one across the roundabout?
This one over here.
Opposite the cop station.
I'm not sure what they're called, but they're very expensive. But they're good.
Yeah.
Got good
New
gear
owners.
over there. They are new
Yeah.
owners, but I
He
think
bought
it's the
his-
same prices.
Oh, that. Leave that in Gaimea Bay.
Push a bit. He's right next
Can you
to
put
me.
it on?
Yeah, put it on.
Put it on. Fuck, I might have, no one's here in case this doesn't come off and I choke.
I hope someone walks in.
This could be the thumbnail for the podcast.
We might leave it on that
Someone
note.
walks in on Michael Hutchinson.
Please take a photo of that.
Oh, far out. Imagine if that was the way I went and they found me like that. Oh. All right.
It's not.
See you, boys.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, punters. We're gonna leave it on Sam wearing a dog
luck,
collar.
Lord.
Good luck. Enjoy
this
Everest.
weekend, punters. Make sure you listen to Locked In Potty as well. We'll go through all the tips, all the Group 1 races, everything like that.
Buy your packages. Says.
See you, punters.
Packages. Good work, lads.